Let's talk about two major topics in the fitness and health world: intermittent fasting and kettlebells. For people with tight schedules, these two approaches are becoming increasingly popular as ways to stay fit, lose fat, and simplify routines. But can combining these methods actually help you maximize your results, or are they better off as separate approaches? Let's dig into what the research says about intermittent fasting and how it may or may not fit with kettlebell training. First, let's define intermittent fasting so we know exactly what type of intermittent fasting we're talking about, because there are several different ways to structure it. But today, we're focusing on one of the most common methods, the 16-8 approach. This means fasted for 16 hours, followed by an 8-hour eating window. So if you finish your last meal at 8 p.m., you wouldn't eat again until noon the next day. This schedule, also called time-restricted feeding, is designed to give your body more time in a fasted state, which researchers believe can have a range of metabolic effects. Let's start with the advantages. The first benefit is improved insulin sensitivity. And insulin sensitivity is a measure of how effectively your body responds to insulin, which is the hormone that helps regulate blood sugar. And research, like the study published in Cell Metabolism by Sutton and colleagues, shows that restricted feeding window can improve insulin sensitivity, which may help with weight loss and lowering the risk of chronic diseases like diabetes. Another benefit of intermittent fasting is that it simplifies meal planning. So when you're only eating within an 8-hour window, you're often eating fewer meals, which can cut down on the mental load of planning and preparing food. For people with busy schedules, this can make it easier to stick to a routine and reduce food decisions throughout the day. And finally, time-restricted feeding helps cut down on late-night eating, which is often associated with overeating and less nutritious choices. And a study in obesity found that intermittent fasting reduces nighttime eating and can lead to a lower daily caloric intake, thus supporting weight loss efforts. So late-night eating, especially high-sugar or high-fat foods, has been linked to disruptions in circadian rhythm and metabolism, so this might help reduce these impacts. Of course, intermittent fasting isn't without its drawbacks. The first challenge is hunger and low energy. Research at Stowe and colleagues study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that extended fasting can lead to increased hunger and lower energy levels, especially in the early stages. So people who are more sensitive to blood sugar drops may find it difficult to maintain focus or productivity during fasting hours. There's also the issue of social flexibility. Events, work functions, family meals may not always fit within an 8-hour window. iScience published a review discussing how time-restricted eating can be challenging to maintain for people with variable schedules, as the structure of fasting windows can limit participation in social and family events. Another drawback is its potential impact on exercise performance. When you're working out in a fasted state, your body relies on glycogen, which is stored carbohydrates, and glucose for fuel. And some people tolerate fasted working out just fine, while others may bonk or hit a wall because they run low on blood sugar, causing fatigue and reduced performance. Studies like one examining performance differences in fasted versus fed states showed that people who eat before exercise tend to perform better and can push out more reps or heavier weights. This brings us to an important question. Is it better to work out fasted or after eating? In the study referenced earlier, participants who ate before working out were able to perform more reps to failure compared to those in a fasted state. And this means that eating before exercise may help you get more out of your workouts, especially for strength training. Whether you should work out fasted really depends on your goals, though. If maximizing performance, strength, or endurance is your focus, then you might prefer working out after eating. But if your goal is general fitness or you just feel good exercising on your stomach, fasted workouts are totally cool. A major question many people have about fasted training is whether it causes muscle loss. Muscle mass is important for maintaining strength, metabolic health, and longevity, so it's a valid concern. And fortunately, the current research doesn't show a significant decrease in muscle mass from training in a fasted state, as long as your total daily intake of protein and calories is sufficient. So a study in the Journal of Physiology found that adequate protein intake, spread across the day, helps protect lean muscle even if you're working out in a fasted state. So if your main goal is weight loss and you're still getting enough protein and calories during your eating window, you're likely safe. However, if muscle gain is a priority, intermittent fasting could be more challenging because getting enough calories and protein in a shorter eating window can require really careful planning. Now let's talk about practical considerations. Intermittent fasting doesn't work for everyone, and a big factor is just how you handle hunger. Some people are fine with going a few hours without eating and can make balanced choices when it's time to eat, but Others find that fasting makes them ravenous, which leads them to grab whatever's close by, which isn't always the healthiest choice either. So knowing which type of person you are can help determine if intermittent fasting is realistic for you or not. And another key consideration is consistency. Intermittent fasting is most effective when done consistently, ideally every day, because being inconsistent can lead to a caloric surplus over time. So if you fast Monday to Friday but take weekends off, you might end up negating the benefits of all the fasting in the first place. So if you travel a lot, work rotating shifts, or have an unpredictable schedule, intermittent fasting might not be the best fit. So, let me know in the comments, do you think intermittent fasting is something you could stick with for the long term? It's a great approach for some people, especially if it fits your lifestyle and goals, but it's not the only way to lose weight. Remember, whatever you decide, keeping your protein intake high is important for maintaining lean muscle while you're in a calorie deficit. And if you're interested in learning about the top 5 protein sources that might actually be holding you back from your long-term fat loss goals, click here for the next video, and I'll see you there.